On News Hour tonight, troops intercept ISWAP logistics consignment in Borno. Reactions trail 2026 budget presentation.
University of Medical Sciences, Azari, Bauchi. We from today be known as Sheikh Dairu Usman Bauchi University.
Tinubu renames Bauchi University after late Sheikh Dairu Bauchi. And away from Nigeria, Benin Republic detains ex-defense minister over foiled coup. Good evening, this is News Hour on Trust TV. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. On the security front as well, we'll start. Troops of Sector 2 Joint Task Force Northeast, working with the Civilian Joint Task Force, have intercepted logistics supplies suspected to be destined for ISWAP terrorists in Borno State. The operation, carried out on credible intelligence, led to the seizure of 2 pickup vans along the route from Dapchi in Yobe State to the Magumeri area. Items recovered included vehicles, spare tires and rims, bicycles, mobile phones, cash and various household goods. The drivers are currently in military custody for further questioning as investigations continue to determine the extent of their involvement. Lieutenant Colonel Uba, the JTF spokesperson, said the operation reflects the troops' ongoing commitment to denying terrorists freedom of movement, cutting off supply chains and ensuring the safety of citizens across the Northeast. Still in the Northeast, troops of Operation Hiding Kai have uncovered an improvised explosive device along the Dambo-Kumbala Road and arrested 2 suspected logistics suppliers to Boko Haram terrorists in Borno State. According to Lieutenant Colonel Uba, the IED was discovered on December 17 during a main supply route patrol and safely detonated by troops protecting both soldiers and civilians. In a separate operation on December 19, troops intercepted a Lagos-registered vehicle along the Maiduguri-Bama Road, carrying large quantities of food and energy drinks believed to be intended for Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists in Goza local government area. The military high command has commended the troops for their efforts and urged them to maintain operational vigilance in the fight against terrorism in the Northeast. Joining us via phone call to give us an update to the situation in Borno State is Hamisu Matazu, Northeast Bureau Chief. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on News Hour tonight. Matazu, can you give us an update on the situation in Borno State?
We can say that many people consider this as a development because the troops, the interception of the ISWAP or the Boko Haram logistics from Dapchi, Yobe State, on their way to Magumeri area in Borno State, I think 3 days back, and also the recent one that happened at Damboa area where they uncovered the IEDs that were buried on the road, and also yesterday the logistics also that were intercepted at Maiduguri to Bama to go there where people suspected that the logistics are going to be taken to the insurgents in those areas. One thing I can say about the update is that this pattern of interception has somehow proved that really the military had stepped up operations. That is the general view of people here, because they think that the suffocating the logistic chains, the supply chains of the terrorists, especially that of the ISWAP, which are very notorious in those locations, in locations like Damboa and Goza. If you recall very well, is where recently they killed the general, and they displaced some communities. And most recent attack was, I think, day before yesterday, where a suicide bomber went to a checkpoint and detonated, killing about 5 soldiers. So based on the perception of people is that that suffocation, the terrorists needed freedom of movement. So that's why they now resorted to suicide bombing, because it has been for a very long time there has not been suicide bombing in the area. But recently they started doing that, which to many local security analysts is a weakness on the side of the terrorists.
Okay, so we'll start with the IED device that has been found. Could you tell us exactly, how close to civilian traffic this device, where it was found, was located?
Well, it's on the road, along Damboa and Komala road. It has been a busy road, though not too busy, because normally people fly the road by the escort of the military, and they usually comb the area before allowing people to pass through the roads. And they do that virtually in every trip that the commercial motorists will embark on a journey on the road. And luckily enough, they discover that. But previously, so many bombs like that have detonated and killed a lot of people, both civilian and even the security operatives, the military and civilian JTF that usually comb the area before people fly the route. So it's a welcome development, and it's not, people are appealing to the military to do more, actually. That's what I can see.
Okay, so this, we read 2 stories back to back about the Borno axis and Northeast axis. This new, renewed, as you said, good or interceptions by the military. Could we tie it to, more awareness or more movement during the Yuletide season, or it's just something that's happening and will continue happening even after this Yuletide season is over?
Right from the time, the killing of the Brigadier General and the change of guard in the area, because there are so many reshufflement on the side of the military, and also in terms of operation, though they didn't make it open, but we can see people that are here can understand how the movement of troops to some areas where before, just like, there was movement of troops to Kirawa area. Before that area, there wasn't military formation there, but they moved the military to that area, and it's just close to Mandara Mountain, where everybody knows that it's a no-go area, and the Boko Haram are having their field day there, and it's very close to Cameroon, where they can cross over from the border and perpetrated their crimes and return. But there was a formation there, and I think there was so much reinforcement by the military there. So such development helping in the operations, actually.
Okay, so I'm going to go, our last question will be at the first story about the trucks that were found. Has there been any new information from the military after their questioning of the drivers as to their involvement and where or who sent those trucks to the ISWAP terrorists?
Well, there wasn't yet. But it is understandable that if you look at the pattern, you will see that Damboa and Goza area, has been notorious, and recently is where all the attacks are happening. And most of the drivers, I think, interviewed based on some security reports, were heading toward places even if not directly to those areas, but the areas have linked to those places. So though the military investigation is yet to come out, but there were insinuations that some of the trucks are going there actually.
Okay, thank you so much, Matazu, for your insights on the happenings in the Northeast, particularly Borno State.
Thank you.
Still staying with security matters, troops of Joint Task Force Operation Enduring Peace, JTF OPEP, have arrested a suspected gun runner at Mirana community of Mango local government area of Plateau State. The major officer of the operation, Major Samson Zarkum, disclosed this in a statement on Saturday in Jos. Now, Zarkum said that the operation held on Friday followed a credible intelligence report. Zarkum said that also raided a hideout of suspected criminals at Wende community in Boko's local government area and recovered a fabricated AK-47 rifle, pistol, and many rounds of ammunition of different caliber. The major officer called on residents of the state to support the security agencies in their bid towards ensuring a peaceful Plateau. Former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has accused the federal government of fabricating laws following President Bola Tinubu's 2026 budget presentation in a statement titled, "Migrating from padded budgets to forged laws." Obi warned that discrepancies between National Assembly documents and the laws published by the executive undermine constitutional governance and public trust. He highlighted controversial measures allegedly introduced without legislative approval, including mandatory 20% deposits for court appeals, asset sales without judicial oversight, and arrest powers for tax authorities. Obi called for transparency, accountability, and respect for due process, stressing that Nigerians cannot be asked to pay more taxes while trust in governance erodes. The People's Democratic Party has faulted President Bola Tinubu's 2026 budget proposal, describing it as a budget of consolidated renewed sufferings. Tinubu presented a 58.18 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill to the National Assembly on Friday, projecting a cautiously improving economy and promising stricter budgetary discipline. But the PDP, in a statement on Friday by spokesman Ini Ememobong, said the budget falls short in tackling widespread poverty, rising living costs, and insecurity. Ememobong called for transparent and effective use of security funds to provide modern equipment, sufficient ammunition, better intelligence, and improved welfare for personnel facing well-armed criminal groups. Away from the reactions, even in Kebbi State, business owners have expressed deep concern over the persistent poor and erratic electricity supply by the Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company, KEDCO, urging the government to urgently intervene. Here's more in this report.
Many entrepreneurs say the unreliable power has severely disrupted their businesses, with some communities receiving electricity for barely an hour each day. Walda Sanusi Muhammad described the situation as devastating, explaining that limited power has drastically reduced his productivity and income. He appealed to the government to compel KEDCO to improve service delivery.
I called to government to help us to negotiate with NEPA people whether we will get something when we eat. Because if we will not get light, we will never eat again. The problem is they see the materials for somebody who not that people they pursue me because I never finished the work.
Electronics repairer Adekunle said electricity is the backbone of his trade. Working without power is nearly impossible, and constant reliance on costly generators has become unsustainable.
Well, actually, government are trying their best. We really appreciate them. but we want them to put more efforts so that we can get enough light so that we can feed our family, so that we don't depend on government in everything. That's our pleading.
KEDCO's regional manager, Mike Nusani, attributed the poor supply to revenue challenges. He revealed that while the company has delivered over 1.5 billion naira worth of electricity, only about 400 million naira has been recovered. He urged customers to pay bills promptly to enable better service.
The reason behind a shortage of power supply is lack of payment, which means revenue generation is very poor in Kebbi State, unlike other states of the company. Last month, November collection, Kebbi State generally, we supplied the power worth of 1.5 billion, and then we were able to generate only 430 million. When we talk of Kebbi Central, let's say Kebbi within the state capital, we supplied the power worth 110 billion in Bini Kebbi and Bros. We were able to generate 282 million only. So there is no way the company can go with this generation, with this revenue, so to say. So we are appealing to people. Let them be paying their current charges promptly and completely. Not part payment, no delay in payment. That's the only way the company can survive it.
Business owners, however, insist that government intervention is urgently needed to resolve the ongoing power challenges and create a supportive environment for businesses to thrive. Many entrepreneurs.
We go back to Borno State, where the president, Bola Tinubu, has commended Governor Babagana Zulum for his remarkable achievements in infrastructure development and economic growth in Borno State. The president made the remarks during the commissioning of Zulum's mega schools, the international wing and the fleet of public transport vehicles. President Tinubu is on a 3-state visit to Borno, Bauchi and Lagos, according to a statement from the presidency. Our correspondent in the state, Beatrice Kuruti, tells us more.
The president's jet touched down at the Maiduguri International Airport around noon on Saturday. He was received by political and government dignitaries before commissioning the airport's terminal extension and upgraded international wing. The president then moved to Ramat Square, where he flagged off 3,000 electric bicycles, 500 tricycles, 100 electric taxis, and 20 buses to boost public transportation across the state.
The transportation, urban and rural convenience. I congratulate the governor and the people of Borno State for this transformation. Government is all about people, and Professor Zulum is doing a very good job of caring for people. The electric vehicles, the tricycles, the charging terminals in their thousands. Is the urban problem, mobility and transportation economy. To the glory of God Almighty and for the convenience and development of our people, I declare the tricycles, the electric vehicles, and all other projects associated with it commissioned.
He also commissioned the Bola Ahmed Tinubu schools in Mafoni, an initiative aimed at improving educational infrastructure in the state.
To the glory of God, to this continuous development of our children, I hereby commission this project.
The visit is part of a 3-day tour of northeastern states for official engagement and development initiatives. Beatrice Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri. The president.
Still staying with the president's visits, we're going to Bauchi, where he has renamed the Federal University of Medical Sciences, Azari, after the late Islamic scholar, Sheikh Dahir Usman Bauchi. The announcement came Saturday during a condolence visit to the cleric's family in the state. Tinubu described Sheikh Dahir Bauchi's death as a great national loss, praising his humility, selfless service, and dedication to Islam and peace. He prayed for Allah's mercy on the scholar's soul and strength for his family. Bauchi stated all Nigerians to bear the loss.
May Allah grant him Alijana to Firdaus. May God continue to keep all of you safe, keep our country together, give us peace and prosperity, good development. May his memory continue to be with us, the family, and the joy of life. Gave to us a wonderful person that he is. From today on, I will announce this change of name to immortalize him. From Federal University of Medical Sciences, Azari, Bauchi, we from today be known as Sheikh Dahir Usman Bauchi University.
The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, has confirmed the death of 12 persons with 2 others injured in an auto crash that occurred on Friday along the Ijule-Enugu Highway in Kogi. Tinubu Ituku, FRSC Sector Commander in Kogi, disclosed this while speaking with newsmen in Lokoja on Saturday. The crash involved an 18-seater Toyota Hiace bus belonging to Ramchi Mass Transit en route from Abuja to eastern Nigeria, which rammed into a parked 40 articulated vehicle. FRSC says overspeeding was a factor. Rescue teams rushed the injured to Mercy of Jesus Hospital in Ijule, while the deceased were taken to the morgue. FRSC officials have warned motorists against excessive speed and reckless driving, extending condolences to the families of the victims. So on a sad note, a female Lagos Waste Management Authority Loma sweeper has died after being struck by a commercial vehicle on Meron Road, Lagos. The accident occurred Saturday along the Iyano-Ekuru axis when a blue Ford bus laden with beverages was recklessly reversing and hit the victim, who was performing routine sanitation duties. The driver reportedly attempted to flee but was quickly apprehended by Lagos State Traffic Management Authority LASMA officers with the help of bystanders and handed over to the Meron Police Division for investigation. LASMA General Manager Olaliko Bakaruki described the incident as preventable, expressing deep sorrow over the loss and extending condolences to the family and colleagues of the deceased. The victims' remains were evacuated by Loma officials for further procedures. In Delta State, the police command has arrested a woman, Rita Uwale, for allegedly selling her 2-month-old baby to a couple, Osas and Judith Omijie, for 1.5 million naira. Spokesman for the command, SP Brighter Duffy, disclosed this to newsmen in Warri. Duffy said that the suspect, who was the mother of the infant, allegedly staged the abduction of the baby. He also said that the incident occurred on Monday within the Ekwan Link Road in Uvie local government area of the state. Duffy explained that shortly after the incident, the suspect reported the matter at the Ekwan Police Division.
On the 15th of December 2025, this young lady here came to Ekpan police station and reported that her child was kidnapped at gunpoint. The DPO swung into action, dispatched about 6 patrol teams. They went around that Efrun area trying to see if they could get hold of these suspected kidnappers, according to her. But somewhere along the line, the DPO said, "Where is the father of this baby?" Then the father was summoned to the police station. That was where the DPO, being a very intelligent officer, started interrogating the father and the mother of the child before somehow, miraculously, the mother decided to open up. Guess what? The child was neither stolen nor kidnapped. She sold her child for 1.5 million naira, handed over the baby to the couple, came to the station with her 2 legs, and reported that the child has been kidnapped.
Bookshop operators and publishers in Kaduna State say rising living costs and declining purchasing power are threatening their businesses. Many readers now turn to roadside sellers for cheaper used books, leaving bookstores largely deserted. Trust TV's Bello Musa reports.
Bookshop business was once a thriving venture in Kaduna, supported by a stronger economy and a steady reading culture. Today, many bookstores across the metropolis are struggling to survive, with several already shutting down due to poor patronage. Operators say rising costs and a reduced purchasing power have forced many readers to opt for roadside sellers, where used books are sold at much lower prices.
We normally get the market through conversing to customers outside. We also have this in a website that will normally introduce some of our books to other customers, and that is why we are having patronage. If not, we would have. You come. I told you, sir. With due respect, you can come and see there for throughout the day, and 2 or 3 people might not come. Sometimes we come and sit down in the office here, just walk back home without selling anything. So it's really affecting the book business entirely.
Another bookstore manager, Emmanuel Jaffet, shares similar concerns, noting that customers rarely walk into bookstores anymore.
The reading culture here in Kaduna is very poor. Because I got stock as I came, the stock are still in the shelf.
Publishers are also feeling the impact. They say economic hardship and rising production costs are crippling the publishing business.
So the economy is not telling us, it's not being fair to the industry, the academic industry. For those who are publishing books, we are not finding it easy, and we are just managing. We print books, no patronage, except that the government once in a while will come and buy for the public school. And it's not always, it's once in a year. And it's not all publishers that have the privilege of supplying these books to the government. So if you are not lucky to be part of those who are supplying to the government, what do you do with your books?
They blame the situation on poor reading culture and the growing influence of technology. Bookshop operators believe reviving reading culture among students, along with government intervention, could help restore the industry's lost glory.
Actually, the patronage of people as regards to books, the physical book is not like before. Initially, when this business was moving, actually, we were having more patronage. Reason is that there was no internet, there was nothing, media and all that thing, because at that time people patronized books, and the reading culture at that particular time was okay. People patronize books. But nowadays, in the technological know-how that has come in, it has made it so difficult that people don't want to read it.
Even schools, they produce a handout, they will give them assignment and ask them to go and Google it, which is wrong. Government can come into it by allowing the student to work hard, mostly in terms of research. In terms of research, they should allow the student to research, because during my own time, when you are in school, if assignment is being given to you, you have to write the reference of the book that you get the source of your assignment.
Roadside booksellers continue to enjoy patronage from readers who cannot afford new books, though they also admit that economic hardship has affected their business. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
We are still on to News Hour on Trust TV. When we return from the break, we'll take a look at Nigerians facing challenges in maintaining inter-ethnic relationships. The news continues after the break. Please do stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now a recap of our top stories. We told you that troops intercept ISWAP logistics consignment in Borno State. Also told you that reactions trailed the 2026 budget presentation. Two more stories. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has unsealed Ikeja Electric PLC's headquarters after the company committed to a binding undertaking to address consumer rights violations. The DISCO's offices were initially sealed on December 11, 2025 for failing to comply with a directive from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to unbundle a maximum demand account into 20 individual accounts for a customer who had been without power for over 2.5 years. FCCPC said Ikeja Electric will resolve all consumer complaints, referred to it within agreed timelines, warning that any breach could trigger renewed enforcement under the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act. Executive Vice Chairman Tunji Bello emphasized that the intervention ensures fair treatment for consumers while reflecting the Commission's balanced regulatory approach. Across Nigeria, inter-ethnic relationships, once the defining strength of the nation's diversity, is facing increasing strain. Rising ethnic bigotry, political manipulation, insecurity and economic pressures are testing bonds between communities that have long lived and worked together. Speaking to residents on the streets of Lagos, many say unity begins with good character and understanding other cultures. Here's the report.
Inter-ethnic relationships in Nigeria are increasingly understained, driven by rising ethnic bigotry, political manipulation, insecurity, and competition for limited resources. For decades, Nigerians from different ethnic backgrounds formed marriages, built businesses, and maintained friendships that transcended languages, culture, and geography. These bonds symbolized unity in a nation of diverse ethnic groups. Today, however, many of these relationships are being tested, while ethnic divisions have deepened in some areas. Positive interactions such as inter-ethnic marriages, business partnerships, and long-standing friendships continue to exist. Speaking with residents of Lagos, many express the view that peaceful coexistence depends less on tribe and more on character, mutual respect, and willingness to understand one another's culture, including learning different local languages.
Like for me, I'm from Yoruba. My mom is Akwa Ibom State, and my husband also is a Yoruba man. So because I speak the both language, I speak Akwa Ibom, also speak Yoruba. So it helps me to communicate with both families without hatred.
I am a Christian, and I have seen some Muslims that are better than some Christians that I know, that I feel like I will feel comfortable doing things with them than even doing it to my fellow Christians. So when it comes to the issue of tribes, I don't go along with tribes in choosing my friends, and I don't go along with religion in choosing my friends, because to me, your religion is just what you believe. It's not your character. It's what you believe. And I think all religion we have will not tell you to go and do evil. So evil is in the mind of the evildoer.
In the beginning, they tend to love you so much. They tend to want you to understand the language immediately. And, if you are not moving fast the way they want you to do, the isolation will surely come.
As Nigeria confronts growing social and political challenges, many believe the future of inter-ethnic relationship lies in good character, mutual understanding and respect across ethnic lines, values seen as essential for sustaining national unity.
In August 2024, farming communities in Dansoshiye Forest, Kiru local government area of Kano State, protested against alleged attempts by developers to seize their farmlands. For decades, these farmers have helped curb armed robbery and kidnapping, contributing to local security and stability. Abdulaziz Ibrahim tells us more in this report.
Following the protest, the Kano State Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources convened a stakeholders' engagement to address community concerns and build trust around upcoming agricultural development projects. The Permanent Secretary, Dr. Bashir Sanusi, representing the Commissioner, emphasized that the engagement aims to allay fears of displacement. He explained that the dam and irrigation facilities will strengthen food security, enable dry season farming and boost incomes and livelihoods.
In preparation of dam construction and mighty irrigation facility infrastructure, and also construction of 10.5 kilometer road and 3.5 access road to this facility. That is why we are here to sensitize people, to meet with stakeholders, to meet with beneficiaries and tell them about this mighty project that is coming to them.
Executive Chairman of Kiru Local Government, Abdullahi Saidu, noted that while progress is being made, this dialogue is crucial to prevent future friction between developers and farmers. He assured the community that the government will prioritize dialogue and inclusiveness.
We will try all what we can do in our own side. The local government will do all what we do to make sure this Jajenti is successful. We will try all our possible best, I and our council, to make sure this work is very, very successful.
Community leader Yusuf Harisu Dagachindangora said the talks have reduced apprehension but called on the government to provide additional infrastructure. The masses, religious and traditional leaders all in attendance today expressed happiness over the project, and we call on them to support the project. However, we appeal to the government to help construct more infrastructure like bridges to make it easier for us to move our farm produce. Irrigation projects in northern Nigeria have proven to increase agricultural output, enable dry season farming and drive inclusive development. The Dansoshiya forest projects are expected to enhance agriculture while thoughtfully balancing community needs. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
The Nigerian Customs Service Ogun 1 Area Command Iduroko border has intercepted large consignments of hard drugs being smuggled into the country. The seizures include 16 kilograms of heroin and 12 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine. The Customs Area Controller disclosed this while briefing journalists on the activities of the command. Trust TV's Abbas Dalibi reports.
The acting area controller of the Ogunwang Area Command, Deputy Controller Oladapo Afeni, said the narcotics were intercepted in 6 intelligence driving operations carried out between December 4 and December 15, 2025, across different locations in Ogun State.
The seizure of narcotics, being crystal meth, heroin and cannabis sativa, is particularly worrisome, given their far-reaching impact on our youth, public health and national security.
Afeni explains that the seizures include 16 rafts of heroin, weight 16 kilograms, and 11 rafts of crystal meth, also known as ice, weight 12 kilograms. He put the duty payable value of the seizure at 463 million naira. He added that other hard drug intercepted include cannabis sativa of various sizes, comprised of 128 doughnut-sized unit, 2,752 coconut-sized unit, and 401 booklet-sized unit, with a combined weight of 1,502 kilograms. Afeni described the seizure as worrisome, citing their negative impact on youth, public health, and national security.
Danger in these food items finding their way to the open market lies in consuming substandard products that have not been subjected to health checks and declared fit for consumption by relevant agencies in Nigeria. It may interest you to know that the unscrupulous tradesmen deliberately smuggle in substandard food items and profit on the health risk of non-suspecting Nigerians. The trucks and the content therein all stand to be forfeited to the federal government of Nigeria in line with extant laws and guidelines.
The acting controller also disclosed that on December 12, 2025, operatives of the command intercept an Iveco truck with registration number RMY 354XA conveying 4,998 cartons of foreign pasta, Doga brand spaghetti, and 419 cartons of Oba brand spaghetti, all weighing 10 kilograms each, illegally imported from Turkey. The seized narcotics were handed over to the National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency.
I hereby acknowledge the taking over of these various type of exhibits seized by Nigerian Customs Service Ogun 1. It's a great achievement because a seizure that involved different types of drugs, it was a commendation.
The NDLEA commander assured continued collaboration with the Nigerian Customs Service to combat illicit drug trafficking and protect the nation's youth. The Custom Area Controller reaffirmed the command's commitment to tackling smuggling activities. From Idiroko border axis in Ogun State, Abbas Ibrahim Alibi, Trust TV.
We're also on to News Hour and Trust TV. When we return, business, foreign and sports. So stay with us. Welcome back. Let's get to business. The Central Bank of Nigeria has directed all banks and financial institutions to implement multi-factor authentication for foreign-issued card transactions. The requirement applies to withdrawals and online payments above $200 daily, $500 weekly, or $1,000 monthly, or their Naira equivalent. The move aims to improve transaction security and enhance convenience for tourists and Nigerians returning from the diaspora. Banks and merchants are also required to maintain robust fraud monitoring systems, ensure ATMs and payment terminals meet global standards, and settle foreign card transactions strictly in Naira. The CBN stressed transparency, requiring institutions to clearly communicate exchange rates and associated charges before transactions. Suspicious transactions must be reported promptly and consumer complaints resolved within approved timelines. The regulator also mandated regular merchant training on dispute resolution, chargebacks and fraud prevention to ensure seamless, secure foreign card usage nationwide. The Dangote refinery says over 1,000 fuel trucks now visit the facility daily to load petrol, following strategic measures aimed at making energy more affordable and accessible. The refinery recently reduced the pump price of premium motor spirit to 699 naira per litre and cut the minimum purchase requirement from 2 million litres to 250,000 litres. To further reassure marketers, a 10-day bank guarantee system has been introduced, ensuring uninterrupted supply. Dangote Group President Aliko Dangote said the adjustments empower both large and small marketers, strengthen distribution networks, and improve fuel availability nationwide. The Independent Petroleum Market Association of Nigeria has urged members to patronize the refinery, noting its competitive prices and free delivery, which will begin in January 2026. On the international scene, Benin has placed former Defense Minister and opposition politician Kandide Azania in pre-trial detention over a foiled early December coup. Azania, arrested last week at his party's headquarters in Cotonou, faces charges of plotting against the state and incitement to rebellion. His detention comes after around 30 people, mostly soldiers, were jailed for treason in connection with the attempted takeover on December 7. Soldiers announced on national television that they had toppled President Patrice Talon, while loyalist forces with support from the Nigerian Air Force quickly defeated the coup plotters. Several people were killed and some alleged ringleaders remain at large. Azania, who condemned the coup, was escorted to Benin's anti-terrorism court for questioning before being taken into custody at dawn. President Talon, credited with economic growth, faces criticism over creeping authoritarianism. He prepares to leave office in April after 2 terms. U.S. forces have carried out air and artillery strikes on Islamic State targets in central Syria, killing at least 5 terrorists, including a cell leader, following a deadly attack on American troops last weekend. The retaliation targeted over 70 IS positions across Homs, Deir Ezzar and Raqqa provinces, according to U.S. Central Command, using fighter jets, attack helicopters and artillery. The strikes come after a lone IS gunman attacked U.S. personnel in Palmyra on December 13, killing 2 soldiers and a U.S. civilian. The city, home to UNESCO-listed ruins, was once controlled by IS fighters. Rami Abdel Rahman of the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights confirmed the deaths of key IS members, including the leader of a drone operating cell in eastern Syria, Deir Ezzar province. The U.S. says the strikes were a very serious retaliation, though no ground operations were conducted. And for sports update tonight, let's join Joseph Peter.
The Authentic Nigeria Football Allied Sports Supporters Club has pledged unwavering support for the Super Eagles at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations despite recent institutional challenges. AMFACS acknowledged communication from the Interim Management Committee regarding the National Sport Commission position on supporters' participation for the tournament in Morocco, but insisted their commitment remains firm and driven by patriotism. The club provided clarity on long-standing collaboration issues, noting that the original concept of supporters' unification was altered at the Nigeria Football Federation level, disrupting the intended framework. The process has not progressed under IMC leadership due to concerns around transparency, fairness, inclusivity, and stakeholder engagement. However, AMFACS commended the National Sport Commission for its visible intervention in support of Nigerian football, including facilitating chartered flights for both supporters to Rwanda for the World Cup qualifier, supporting visa processing for the South Africa qualifier, and providing support for playoff matches in Morocco. The club reassured Nigerians, football authorities and Super Eagles that their presence and support will remain steadfast at AFCON 2025 while continuing to engage constructively with relevant institutions and stakeholders. Wilfred Ndidi has been appointed the new captain of Nigeria Super Eagles ahead of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. The announcement was made by the national team's official channel on Friday following the international retirement of former captain William Truss Ekong. The Besiktas midfielder takes over the leadership role at a moment when Nigeria prepares for one of Africa's football's biggest tournaments. Ndidi, who has worn the armband for Nigeria on several occasions in recent matches, officially inherits the role after several senior figures stepped away from international duty. Speaking after his appointment, Ndidi acknowledged the weight of responsibility and stressed the importance of unity and collective effort within the squad. He said being named captain is a huge responsibility and highlighted that cooperation among players and coaching staff will be key to success. Ndidi's experience, both domestically and internationally, position him as a well-respected figure to guide the team through the challenges ahead at AFCON 2025. That's Sport News. My name is Joseph Peter.
And that's a wrap for News Hour tonight on Trust TV. For more of our news, programs, documentaries, do to follow our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. On behalf of the news production team, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Good night.